We got Will here today. I'm going to repeat myself a couple times, guys. Sorry if you joined early, but we have Will here today. I brought Will into Radium as like an intern, literally like over a year ago. And
almost 2 years.
Yeah, almost 2 years. That's insane. So he kind of harassed me to like, to, hey man, can I get in the studio, man? I'll do some internship stuff. But he was already really skilled and talented at composing and writing and songwriting and all that stuff. And it just goes to prove to you that you can have all the talent in the world and no money whatsoever, right? So he was really trying to get his foot in the door and work on something that he cared about. And he saw what I was doing with Radium. And I think he was kind of like, yo, I like that. I like that style. I like that idea. And I would love to be a part of that, right? So when he came in, I was like, okay, you're from Brazil. He's jumping around from job to job, doing deliveries and stuff. How do we make him some money, right? So the quickest way to make any money in anything you're doing is to be able to sell, right? If you can't sell what you guys are doing, like straight up, I'm going to be like 100% with you guys on all these calls. If you guys have the best music in the world, you're the best keyboard player, the best beat maker, you got all this super dope stuff that everybody wants, you will not make a penny if you can't sell yourself. If you guys don't know how to sell, if you don't know how to close deals, if you don't know how to capture leads, if you don't know how to talk to the music supervisor at Netflix deciding who they're going to pull the music in for, if you don't know how to sell yourself, you'll never be good at this. I don't care how good you are at music. And you could take that from any of the legends. Take it from Hans Zimmer. Little story about him. When I was working with Mark Mothersbaugh, right? Mark knew Hans, been to parties together and all that stuff, right? And he's like, oh man, that guy. And also you guys, this all stays within this group, right? Because like there's stuff that I signed NDAs for as well. But he was like, man, that guy is such a salesman. And he said it like a bad thing. And I was like, Mark, maybe that's why he's like in the top 3 of composers in the world and you're in the top 20. You know what I mean? Like that's what I thought in my head, because Hans is just known to be a really great salesperson. When he gets in with directors, he's selling them this story and blah, blah, blah. And he's, rubbing shoulders and he's like, what can I do for you? He's service-based. He's like, I'll do anything to get this job, right? And you may think, no, Hans doesn't have to do that, dude. He's the biggest guy in the world. They just come to him. That's absolutely incorrect. That is a guy that makes millions and millions and millions of dollars a year off of music alone, but then he has other money coming in from residuals and all sorts of stuff. His rents that he rents out at his different studio rooms. He also licenses his sound library. He's recorded a bunch of samples and composer samples and stuff. He actually licensed those out for a royalty structure to all of the people that compose under him or use any of those samples at all. This is like intense stuff, guys, but he's a great salesperson. He knows how to sell people, how to build rapport, how to make people feel good, how to service them. So the biggest step, like what I'm trying to tell you guys right now and set this up for Will, because he's going to get into his presentation, is that you need to understand you can work on your craft all day, every single day in your room, in your studio, become awesome at music and never, ever make a living with it. You could be the best musician, the greatest artist. You could release thousands of records and never make a living with it. Because you figured out how to market and sell, you will make a living with your music and not even be that good at music. And you don't believe me? Look at Russ. The guy makes a living with his music. Half the time I'm like, how the fuck did you release that record? It sounds like shit. I mean, no offense to Russ, he's a hustler, right? But he's a salesperson. He's selling himself. He's marketing himself. He's pushing his stuff out there all the time. He's building empires. He's making $100,000 a day. You know what I mean? And why? Because he got really good at sales, not because he mastered his art of music. His music is subjective. There's plenty of people that hate his music. Like, let's really put that into perspective. They hate his music with a passion. They think he's a piece of shit and his music sucks. But he still makes a great living with his music, right? So you can focus on your art all you want. Yeah, you should build your art. You should get good at the music. The product, the music is super important, but at a certain level, there's a subjectivity there. Now, if we're talking sales, we are completely objective, okay? If you make $100, you make $100. If you make $10,000, you make $10,000. And that $10,000 can buy stuff. It can pay your rent. It can pay your mortgage. It can put food on the table for your family. You cannot say that about your music. Oh man, it's so good. Can I buy rent with that? My music's so good. I've been spending so much time on it. I'm so good. I'm such a great singer. No, you can't. So that's what I'm going to set up for this call. I'm going to let Will take over. He's got a whole presentation for you guys. But I just wanted to give you a little bit of background on everything that, you know, we've talked about, the things and the resources I've provided to Will along the way have not just been from me, guys. So these are things like, I want to find people that are selling millions of dollars, tens of millions, building $100 million empires, and I want to have them teach Will how to sell, right? You want me teaching Will to sell? Because I can make 6 figures a year, but I want someone that's making, you know, 11 figures a year to teach Will how to sell. You feel me? Because then if he goes out and he just starts crushing it, right? Everybody wins. He gets paid a commission, bring in more business, we build a bigger business, etc. So that's the whole game plan. That's how you build a business. So without further ado, Will Martins.
What's going on, guys? What's up? My name is Will. I think that's pretty clear by now. I think I know some faces here. Johnny, David is not showing up. Philip, what's up? Might be on the phone. But yeah, I agree 100% with everything Brett just said about sales. Like that's the ultimate tool to build wealth overall, regardless, you know, the industry you're at, and it shouldn't be different on the music industry. I think it's funny when people treat the music industry differently from other industries. You know, like if you're a doctor, you have a process to become a doctor. You have a process to sell your services, and it should be like that in the music industry as well. And that's what we're trying to do here at Radium, you know, to create a process of selling music, of selling art. And well, I'm gonna get into my presentation, which is basically gonna try to summarize a little bit of everything that I've learned in this past 2 years that I've been here with Brad, and you know, all the courses I took on sales and marketing, plus my own experience and all that. So let's get into it. All right, so generating sales with your music. All right, so who the fuck I am to talk about that, right? Like, you never heard anything about me. So I'm just gonna introduce myself real quick here. So I am Brazilian, so I ask sorry about my accent, and sometimes I'm gonna be a little slower on the talking, but roughly 80% of the time you can understand me. I've been doing music for the past 15 years, work with everything you can imagine, playing, producing, touring, selling music directly. I came from advertising. I hold a bachelor in advertising and marketing from Brazil, and I work as an art director in multiple ad agencies. And you know, at some point, I was just in between, you know, music and advertising, and I would say, you know what, I'm just gonna 100% into music, and that's what I did, and it's been working really well in the past 6-7 years, which I've been professionally making music, right? And since then, I've been composing and producing music for brands such as Shell, Gatorade, Nissan. I just had a sync with a Kia commercial that, yeah,
Beat Gang.
with the Big Gang, you know, it's pretty amazing, pretty nice check, if you will. And I interned for a composer here in LA at Warner, went to audio school, music theory school. I came to LA actually to study at UCLA Extension for film scoring, which I graduated in 2017. And since 2019, as Brad said, I've been harassing him to work here. And, you know, I've been a composer and producer and content and marketing strategies here with him. Yeah. So that's who I am, like in a nutshell. Why should you guys care about sales at all? You all artists, right? Well, everything that we do, it's basically sales. Since we're kids, tantrum is a way of selling, right? You want something, you don't have any arguments when you're a kid, so you just cry.
Brandon knows about this. He's got kids.
Yeah. So, you know really well. So, basically sales is just give something of value and get something else back. So that can happen with kids, parents, couples, employer. And one thing that you have to keep in mind that selling is not a profession, is a skill set. Not necessarily you're going to become a salesperson if you start selling, because many people in arts, they have this concept of, oh, if I start selling, I'm going to go corporate, I'm going to abandon all my art and blah, 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 which is all bullshit to me. Like you see yourself like that in a telemarketing setup. And why do we have so much of sales aversion? Most music makers still have a lot of sales aversion. They don't want to, become or invade people's privacy. I'm sorry, guys. Let me break to you. There's no other way to sell other than interrupting people. This is something that you have to get used to. You're going to bother people. If you want to grow in music and sell your music, you're going to bother people. And they're going to be pissed. Like some of them, they will be pissed at you. They will. Like many calls I did, I would say like 20%, I would have like a fuck you, a fuck off, like 20% of the time. But most of the time people are cool, which is a good thing. So we need to stop being afraid of rejection. That's another point that I want to make to you guys. Until we have, I don't know, the silly fear that came from our times of that we need to run from tigers and stuff like that. They're still on our personality. We need to forget that. So stop being afraid of rejection. There's no real fear. It's just our old brain trying to protect ourselves. There's no real fear. Another point I want to make before getting to my strategies of sales is there's no such thing as a fixed salary anymore. Everything you do is performance-based. Everything. So if I stop performing here at Radium one day, Brad's just gonna fire me. Like, hey man, you're not performing. Like, get out of here. Like Jeff Bezos, the richest man in the world, right? He owns 11% of Amazon. So he built his own wealth building something bigger than him. If he stops perform as a CEO and founder, Amazon will fire him. There's no doubt about it. So with all this in mind, you have to keep this mentality in your music career, in your music business. Rent is due every day. Every day you have to sell, no matter what. No matter at what level. If it's just prospecting, if it's just meeting new people, connecting with new money, and so on. So rent is due every day. There's no fixed salary on the music industry. All right. With all being said, with all these three sort of mindset points on selling, I want to get into 6 steps that I found very helpful to start selling my own music. All right. So the first point is provide value first. You can't sell something without value. Can you sell sand on the beach? I don't think so. Like many people say that, yeah, I can sell sand on the beach. No, you can't. There's no value in that. There's a bunch here for free, And if your art or service is not into a point that can really, really provide real value or enough benefits, you have to go back to the drawing board and study more your instrument or production or mixing or mastering until you reach a point that you're really providing some value. As Brad said, when I came to him to work as an intern, I already had a lot of value to provide. I had at least 5 years of experience producing music professionally, plus all my years playing instruments, plus all my years on college of marketing and so on. So I had at least 10 years of experience.
I'm gonna interrupt him right here, because here's the thing, guys. I didn't hire Will because I said, oh man, he composes music, and you're not gonna get hired because you compose music either. Like straight up. You want to know what the differentiating thing for him was that he understood marketing and he understood advertising and he had a degree in that stuff and he proved that he understood that. And then I knew that if he wrote music and he understood music and music theory and composing and also advertising and marketing, that he could score for commercials. He can make music for commercials because he understands what advertisers want. So get that connection, guys. If you just are good at music, it's going to do nothing for you. You have to be good at music and be a good storyteller. You have to be good at music and be really good at selling products. You have to be good at music and be really good at helping tell a story for film, TV shows, help dialogue along, right? Help an artist, like, the newest thing is like all these tutorials from beat makers saying, hey man, you want to sell a beat for placement? And everyone's like, yeah. And they're like, here's how you do it. You make a really shitty beat that's wide open. It doesn't have a bunch of melody on it. It doesn't have a bunch of crap going on and like a beautiful music masterpiece. It's just wide open and a rapper can get on it and they want to just rap on it about drugs and money and some, smoking weed and stuff. All right. And then, wow, you got a placement. Holy shit. You know what I'm saying? So that's how it works, guys. You have to understand the principles behind the music when you're in an industry of music. If you're an artist and you're just trying to do your art, let your instrumental cues out there and just kind of have fun with it. But we're talking about an industry. We're in a business, guys. So that's a really key thing I want you guys to understand. Provide value first. And his thing here is like, look, if your art or service doesn't provide a value, if he came to me and he was like, yo, I compose, I'm like, that's not valuable to me. You know how many people I know that compose? Do you know how many people I know that make beats? Do you know how many people,
Way better than me.
very talented people that sing, write songs, do all the stuff that we do? I don't care about that. And neither will most people in this business. A&Rs will not care about that, right? They want to see you deliver something of value that they can sell that works with a product or a service that they're trying to get out there.
No, perfect. Couldn't say better. So the analogy that I made here is the charcoal versus the diamond, right? They're the same. They're the same basically matter, right? It's just the time and the effort put into the diamond that made it is so valuable. So if your art or your product is not good enough, study up, create something new, and then look out for the opportunities. Second point I want to make here, my second step, it would be reach out for your power base. If you don't know what a power base is, it's basically the network you already have, the people that you already know. So everything in this industry is about who you know, not what you know. As I said, I had more than 10 years of experience combined. And, it was more about the people that connect me to Brad and the people who Brad knew that I composed it or, that I interned for that put me in this position. And and also it's really important to emphasize here that you probably have a huge power base of people who needs your service right now and you don't even know why, because they're not promoting yourself enough or you're not providing enough value. So it comes back to the first and the previous steps that we talked about. So another thing that is really helpful in this in reaching out for your power base is you can, I don't know 10 people, and these 10 people know another 10 people. So always finish a conversation, ask for referrals. On my sales calls, usually like when it didn't end well, I always ended up with asking for referrals. So hey, I'm so sorry, this is not a good fit for you. Would you know anybody that will be a fit for it? And I don't know, I would say that 50% of the time they had someone that were looking for that type of service. Another creative way to get out with your power base is splitting commissions. So if you ask for a friend, hey, if you refer a friend, I give you 20% of commission. I think it's another creative way to get your power base working right away. Third step is proving your worth. So after I got hired as an intern, I had to prove it that everything that I said on an interview was real, right? So the way I did that, I worked for free for a long ass time. For a long ass time, you know, I had no salary, even in Radium or in many other places that I worked before. Another example of that happened recently, actually, I started DJing a couple, I would say 6, 7 months ago. I produce music, electronic music, and I said, okay, yeah, now I need to perform this electronic music that I'm producing. So I started DJing, and I knew anything about DJing. So I started applying for gigs, and I just discovered this kind of flea market here in Hollywood, and I just offered my services for free for 3, 4 times, and I started on high summer. I would say like before summer, it was really, really hot. So, every Sunday I would be there like for 4 or 5 hours playing and practicing for free, just putting my music out there. And now the guy is paying me like every single Sunday. I proved my worth in advance. They saw the value of my art, and now I've been paid. So I had to prove everything before. And same here with radio. After some months, they saw that I wasn't lying and I was a hard worker. And and I started being paid. All the opportunities, sync licensing and all that, commissions. Brett actually started to train me on sales and how he started providing me tools so I could make my own money as well. So I wouldn't depend on only the jobs that were supposed to come in to get me paid, right? So I started creating opportunities to the company as well. Another question that you have to ask yourself when trying to prove your worth is why they should choose you or keep you in that position. All right, my fourth step, it is a numbers game. Sales is numbers game. The more people you can connect, the more possibilities you have in anything, right? So if you have just one source of everything, you're one step from failure. If you have one source of income, if you lose the source of income, you're screwed. So if you have one opportunity to make money and the guy flaked on you, or the guy or the girl flaked on you, you don't have that opportunity anymore. So the more people you can connect, the more possibilities you have. There's no such thing of having too many connections or following up too much. As I said, you're gonna bother people a lot with sales calls, with emails. That's the way to do it, guys. There's no other way around. It took me at least 6 months to get before starting even interning for Radium. I started talking to Brad because of his his tip of the day on his IG, and that was I think mid-August of 2018. I started talking to him. I started intern for Radium at January 2019. So it took me at least 6 months until I got just intern for Radium. And I can remember how many times I bothered this guy, like, hey dude, I'm still, needing someone, I can do that. I can do this. So, yeah, it's a numbers game, guys. So anytime you're doing anything like prospecting, or like, for example, to get my internship at Warner, it took me more than 100 contacts to get there. Like when I started working in Brazil on this music company, composing music for commercials, short films, and so on, it took me more than 200 emails that I sent to different companies to get an interview. So it's a numbers game, okay? So if you have your calendar empty, that's not a good sign at all. Persistency is a skill that almost no one is developing these days, mainly in the music industry. Like if you put your music out, it doesn't reach like 1,000 streams in a month, you're gonna give up. 90% of people are doing that, and it's just stupid. Like, why you're doing another song? Your first song doesn't have even 1,000 streams. What are you doing? Start promoting the first one first. All right. My fifth step is consistency. So small steps done every day are more effective than one done rarely. If you improve 1% a day, 1%. So if yesterday you did 10 and today you do 11, and the day after is 11.1, right? It's compound, right? So you have improved in a year 37 times. Amazon, the biggest company in the world, grows 14% a year. You'll be growing more than Amazon in a year. So be consistent. Do not ignore the small steps. Small steps done consistently are way more important. Let the compound effect to catch up. So I bring this graphic just to show you what I was talking about, the power of tiny gains. So 1% better every day is equals 37.78 times of improvement in a year. All right. It's going to take at least 6 months so you start seeing some progress. But after that, it's incredible. It's incredible. I remember that Brad, once I started making the sales calls, he told me like, dude, the first month it's gonna suck. Don't worry. Like, just keep doing it. And I remember it really sucked because, I have a heavy accent. I can speak English pretty well, but, even though like people don't want to listen, even natives talking to them when, terms of sales. Can you imagine like a broken English guy? Like, nah, I don't want to listen to you, dude. So it was really hard, in the first month. And then the second month wasn't that hard. And then I hit a jackpot. I just met a guy that needed the services, and I closed a big deal with him, like more than $4,000 in one sale. And I said, oh my God, that's it, And after that, I was just improving and improving. So do not ignore the power of tiny gains and keep doing it. It takes some time, but after like halfway through, you're just gonna see improvement go way up. My last point is the 90-day rule, which is totally related to consistency. So constantly, you should be always meeting new people. Always, because there's this thing called the 90-day rule, the 3-month period, right? The connections you make today, let's say I start selling to you guys today. No one's going to buy today, I bet. But I'm going to keep following up with you. You betcha. And eventually, one of you, after 30 days or 60 days, is going to buy. And after 30 days, you're going to pay. So it takes at least 90 days to get some result from the work you do today, the work you do of prospecting new people, to connecting to new people. It's going to pay you at least in 90 days. So if you didn't, the best way to see if you did the work well, if you have money coming in today, 90 days ago, you did a great job. If you don't have any new money coming today, you didn't do a great job 90 days ago. All right. So one thing to keep in mind, sales, it doesn't end. The sales process and the sales cycle doesn't end on the closing, because you always can get second money. You always can get new money, new things you can offer them. Okay, yeah, you did a track. Hey, what about a loop pack? What about production? What about recording? You always have something new you can offer. What about orchestration? So the eternal cycle of sales is prospecting, following up, closing, following up, closing, following up, closing. Like the biggest accounts we have here at Radium right now, they're recurrent clients. They're not new clients. So that's it. These are my points. So keep your well always full. And the fuller your calendar is, the fuller my bank account is. Your bank account. You got my point. So just a recap about everything we talked here today so it doesn't get confusing at all. So it's 3 points for a better mindset on sales. So first, everything is sales. It's not a profession, but a skill set. And stop being afraid of rejection. You won't be able to sell without interrupting people. So deal with that and just getting to the phones, and you will never have a salary. Rent is due every day. There's no guarantees on that. And the 6 points, the 6 rules, 6 steps, you can call however you want, of selling, which are: provide value first, reach your power base, prove you're worth it, it's a numbers game, consistency, and the 90-day rule. And just an extra point here for you guys, just because you're so nice. I'm going to reveal my perfect selling routine. This is the routine I actually used and still use when I need to sell or prospect new clients. And, in order to make the compound effect work, you have to incorporate in your routine, in your day-to-day. And this routine is, you can either do in one day or split through your week. Okay. It takes around 2 to 4 hours, this perfect selling routine. So first of all, 30 minutes a day, connecting with new money, prospecting, reaching out on DMs, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, BeatStars, whatever you use, whatever is your niche. Another 30 minutes to an hour following up with deals and people who didn't make the decision yet. Keep calling, keep texting, keep emailing. 20 to 30 minutes a day invoicing people, collecting money, and setting up the finances. This is really important, because usually our people, they don't talk much about finances and taxes and all that. This is really important. It's a big part of selling. You have to have your numbers really right so you can compare in the future, and also to pay taxes, right? And 1 to 2 hours learning and preparing scripts, templates, emails, DMs, templates, and all that. So that's this hour into 2 hours a week is going to save you days, because you're going to have everything. So the way I have everything on my notes on my phone, on iPhone. And I have templates for emails. I have templates for text messages. I have templates for DMs, and I have multiple levels of templates. So if I have, for example, a prospecting client, it's one type of thing. If I have a follow-up on LinkedIn, it's another message, and so on. So you have to create all these levels when you start facing objections, once you start noticing the common objections and the common suggestions that people give you, right? The feedback that people give you. And that's basically it, guys. Do you have any comments or questions?
All right. So, Will, great presentation. I loved it, dude. I wrote down everything.
Awesome.
Can you share your templates? I know those are gold, but can you share your email templates and text message, DMs? Because like mine,
well, you can get the template package. It's just going to be $19.99. No, just kidding.
Right. No, I want that because
free, bro.
Because I was talking to Bradley the other day. I got a powerhouse of my old arsenal of people that I need to open up to. So.
Yeah, Johnny, what we talked about last week with getting your power base together is like one of the most important steps that you can possibly do with your sales. Like straight up,
right.
You don't have your list. Do any of you here right now have a list of 50 people that you know closely? Like raise your hand or put it in the chat. Okay, so that list right there is your power base, okay? Every single one of those people know 10 people that are going to want to work with you, like straight up. So you need to call them and you need to reconnect with them. You don't need to sell them. You need to get on the phone with them. Yo, what's up, John? Hey, this is Brandon. Hey, man, how you been, dude? It's been a year and a half. I haven't chatted with you. How's the family? I saw you got a kid now. Oh, man. Hey, Brandon, what's going on? Hey, what are you up to, Brandon? Right? They're going to ask you, like, what are you up to? And then you're going to be able to say, yo, I'm a music producer. I'm doing this, and this. This is my business. Yeah, man, I'm having a great time. I live out here with my family, etc. Right? And then, oh, you're a music producer? Oh, that's really dope, dude. Tell me more about that. I'd love to learn more about what you're doing. See what I'm saying? You reconnect with them. And then you say like, yo, let me follow up with you are you on Instagram? You know, follow them, you know, like start connecting with people. People are business. People are money. You know, logos are not money. Amazon is not a business. It's a bunch of people, right? And robots, but those robots have to be taken care of by people. That data has to be used by people, right? Those products that they're selling have to be made by people or designed by people that are then made by robots. Either way, you have to connect with people, guys. It's really important that you start thinking, who's got my money? You start to focus on that, okay? You don't go after people that do not have your money and have nothing to do with what you're doing because it's easy and you just know them and it's easy to talk to them on the phone and, yeah, man, I'm going to sell them on something when they don't need it. No, you need to talk to people that need it. They want what you're offering, right? So I also wanted to touch on this stuff, guys, like because, you know, Will starts talking about this stuff. It kind of opens up other things about sales and the process itself. And one thing, well, there's a few things, right? So people are your money and your opportunities, straight up. You need to connect with more people. You don't need to go make money. Okay. They're printing money. You don't make the money, guys. Okay. Get that whole idea out of your fucking head. Like trade money and value with people. You need to go find people and help them, right? How can you help them? Stop thinking about people wanting to help you. Oh, buy my beat, buy my shit. Why? That doesn't help anybody. Not even you. Because what is it, a $20 lease? Nobody here has a $20 problem, guys. If you got a $20 problem, you know, hit me up. I'll give you $20. For fuck's sake. Like, we have to start thinking a lot bigger, guys. Like, what's your rent? What's your car payment? How do you feed yourself, your family? How much are your costs every single month? Okay. Then you got to start thinking, how do I make 3 to 5 times that? Right? Because we want an actual business, an economy. Okay. So people, that's how you do it. Just straight up. That's the biggest answer that everyone needs to write down. Connect with more people. Talk to more people. Become friends with more people, right? Get into more of these groups. Go get into another group that's about sales and marketing, right? From somebody that's all they do. They're just professional sales and marketer, right? Another thing is it's really hard, guys, when we're talking about this stuff because I don't think like this either, like sales, marketing, clients, and prospecting and blah, 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 right? It's all bullshit. At the end of the day, it's just people. So when we say you got to connect with people, you got to call them, you got to follow up with them and stuff, that's all it is. It's like, I have something that's going to help you, right? I want to sell it to you. I feel obligated to sell it to you because I know it'll help you. And if you trade me $200 for this, I know that I can get you $2,000 in value off this. And if I didn't try to sell you on this, I'm going to be an asshole, not you, right? And that's how you always should answer that question. Like, you know, oh, are you trying to sell me on something? Listen, man, if I don't sell you on something, it's my fault, not your fault. Okay? Straight up. I want to make it really clear. That's my job to sell you because I know this can help you. And if you don't feel that way when you're talking to someone selling something that you have, a product or service, you're selling the wrong thing, guys. You need to rework your product or your service. Because I believe in what I'm doing wholeheartedly. I want everyone to buy it because I know it gives them that massive value, right? And I know when I charge them $20 for it, it's worth much more than $20. Okay? So that's where you need to be with this sales stuff. So if you feel like you need to work on your product or your service more, then work on your product or service more. But then also realize that question, who has my money, has to do with who you can help. Because there's someone out there that you can help with where you're at, with what your product is and your services, okay? They need your help. They need to figure out how do they get to $100 a month. And you've done that, right? They need to figure out how to get to selling a few beats every month. And you've done that. So help them, right? Offer that product, offer that service. Okay, I'm gonna also open back up to questions and stuff here in a second. Here's another thing that Will pointed out that I thought was really, really key here, right? He's like, the first month sucked, man. The second month he even was pretty shitty, right? He's just calling people. He has no idea what he's doing, right? Dude, you guys call enough people and ask enough people if they want to buy what you're selling, you're gonna get lucky. Okay? Like, just call enough people. Ask enough people in your neighborhood, your town, on your Instagram, your social media. Hey, man, I got this thing. I think it'll really help you. And it's $20. You want to buy it? Even if you were so bad at sales and that's how you came at it, you would get lucky, guys. And you would at least make $100 if you hit up enough people. Does everyone agree with that? Yeah, right? It's like, hey, you got a problem, man. I want to sell you this thing. They're like, hey, fuck off, dude. Right? Okay. Hey, man. All good. Love you, dude. Love what you're doing. Next. Hey, dude. Hey, you. This guy told me fuck off, but hey, I got this thing. I think it's really going to help you. Oh, what is it? Tell me a little more about it. Now you got a lead, right? You got an interested, qualified lead. Someone going, I'm interested in what you're talking about. That's all you need, guys. That's sales right there. So now you start getting a little bit better at gaining that interest, right? Dude, check this out, man. Check out that cup, dude. Yeah, it's got sushi on it, right? Love drinking out of it. It's so vibey, right? They're like, whoa, where'd you get that, right? You start getting questions. Where'd you get that? Oh, dude, I want to tell you where I got this. But first, let me ask you a couple questions. You see what I'm saying? So that's the whole idea here with sales. You want to throw hooks. You want to get better at throwing hooks, get people's attention. Stop scrolling. Oh, shit, what is that? Oh, sick. I'm going to click on it. I'm going to go to that guy's page. I want to check him out. What does he do? Check out your content. Wow, this is really valuable content, right? This guy's really helping me with all this free stuff. I wonder how much he could help me if I paid him $20, if I paid him $30 a month, if I paid him $5,000, how much value could he bring me? See what I'm saying? That's where you want to be. Because if someone pays me $5,000, I got a whole team of people. I got resources. I got studios. I got studio equipment. I got writing skills. I got 20 years of experience. I can help them. I got connections. I got A&Rs. I got music labels. I got people wanting music and needing this stuff. I can get that person in the door. I can send their music out. We can produce records. We can make shit that I believe in pitching to the people that I know, right? Now all of a sudden, $5,000 doesn't seem like that much money anymore, does it? Now when you got opportunities for 50 grand on the table for advances to pay it right back, it's not a big deal. See what I'm saying? People think it's a big deal because they don't see the value. You haven't exceeded their value, right? $5,000, that's crazy. If I told you, give me $5,000 today and in a month, I'm going to give you 50 grand back. Is that crazy to you guys? Seems like a fucking no-brainer to me, right? But you know what most people are caught on? They're caught on spending the money. They're not caught on not spending the money. If they spend the money, they're thinking about all the things that they can't buy and what they won't get, but they're not thinking about what it costs them not to invest the money. Do you want 50 grand next month, or do you want to be broke again because you spent your 5 grand on a bunch of bullshit? Do you get what I'm saying? Can I get an amen? I mean, at the end of the day, that's what this is, guys. You get stuff, you get value out of it, you learn how to make money, you build a business, the business generates revenue, it pays you cash flow, right? Most people in the world will never get there. They're going to work a job, they're going to try to build up to it, get a dollar raise every once in a while. I mean, some people are getting like 37-cent raises, shit like that to like appease them. They're keeping up with inflation. And they're going, this job, man, it's real secure. I think we just figured out that jobs are not secure, guys. I think we figured out that a few times just in our lifetimes. 2008, now we're coronavirus. Do you have a secure job? Nobody has a secure job. That's why this sales thing is so important. I want you guys to understand it means so much to me because sales changed my fucking life, right? It made me able to run a business. Not to just sit in my room and be scared all the time of how I'm actually going to make money and then thinking of music as, it's just my release, bro. No, I want it to be my income generator. I want it to be my release. I want it to be something I do for fun. I want it to be something that generates millions of dollars. I want it to be something that can hire other people and help other people feed their families. I want it to inspire people. I want it to build other businesses, right? I want people to get married to it. I want people to have babies to it. I want people to get divorces to it. I'm just kidding. Get over divorces to it though, right? So it's about focus, guys. This is really, really, really about focus. Everything that you guys are like seeing right here, it's about focusing and not being a baby. You're grown-ups, right? We're all grown-ups here. You got to make money. So what are you going to do? I don't want to bug him or her. I'm just going to sound stupid. You can sound stupid and be broke. That's cool. Or you can sound stupid for a little while and then realize that you don't sound stupid anymore because you actually got good at it, right? And now you respect yourself more because you're bringing in an extra $5,000 a month for your family and for your business. And you're actually building something because you're getting on the phones and you're not scared to do it, right? Because you have something of value. And now you're able to help someone else. Like when I learned skills, I pass them on to him. When he has the skills, he's able to pass them to other people, right? He's able to show people like, this isn't that scary. I remember Will was making cold calls. Hey, what's going on? Like literally like scripted. Like I'm like, oh God, those people, those poor people, right? It's like, hey, how are you? This is Will, Radium Media, and I wanted to follow up with you about. Oh, they hung up on me. You know, like at first he's just so nervous. Like, oh my God, what are these people gonna think? And then after a while, you realize like, I don't care what they think. I care about helping them. If I can't help them and they're just gonna be angry at me, guess what? I've had people literally tell me to F off. You know, they've unsubscribed from my mailing list. Bro, you email too much. Bro, I didn't sign up for this shit. I'm like, did you read the email? I just gave you $500 and you're like, bro, F off, bro. I'm like, and that's the problem right there. It's like, dude, you're trying to sell me something. Yeah, maybe you should buy it. Might help you a little bit, right? So that's the whole idea. It's like I've had people do that and I hit them up again and again in different fashions. And all of a sudden I'm working on their fucking EP and they're like, oh, you changed my life, man. I'm like, dude, don't call me, bro. I'm just kidding. But you know, like that's part of the game. It's part of the game. It's like, you know, you have to understand, guys, most cultures outside of the US look at it as part of communication, that the rejection happens up front. You ever been to the East Coast, guys? Hey, man, hey, try this out. Hey, why don't you go fuck yourself? Hey, man, I'm telling you, this right here, this is good coffee. Hey, I don't give a fuck. I got my own Joe. Okay, but hey, what is that cup? Hey, man, I'm telling you. Hey, I'll bet you $5 if you had this coffee. They're like, I'll put $5 on that. You know, like all of a sudden it's a conversation, right? Now, how are we on the West Coast? We're like this, like, hey man, what's going on, bro? If you kind of like feel like you might want to like think about doing something like this, it'd be like really cool to like have you. I mean, I'd do it for free for a little while for you, bro. Like, cause I really respect you, bro. Man, I'm not interested. Oh, all good, man. I'll fuck off forever. Like, I got business partners hitting me up going, I'm like, yo, did you follow up with that A&R? No, man, I don't think he's really fucking with me, man. Why do you say that? I hit him up. I emailed him. He never got back to me. You don't think he's busy? Did you follow up with him? Nah, bro, I really just don't think he fucks with me. I just don't think he's feeling the music, bro. What are you talking about? Pull your head right out. Pull it out of your asshole. This is ridiculous, you guys. I hit him up. He just doesn't mess with it. Did he tell you that? Nah, bro, he just didn't respond to me, bro. All right. So here's the thing, follow-up techniques. That's what I really want you guys to get really good at. 5 to 12 follow-ups is when 80% of your deals are going to close, okay? You're going to follow up once, you're going to close maybe 3% of your deals on the first follow-up. The first phone call or the first interaction where you actually ask someone to buy something from you, there's like literally like a negligible rate that they might say like, absolutely, give me the PayPal. You know what I'm saying? That's like ridiculous. So most of the time they've already seen you on Instagram, Facebook, whatever. They've communicated with you. They've seen your content. They've checked you out. They've shopped you around, etc. Right? They've thought about it over and over and over again. And that's why you feel like, oh, that first call and I close the deal. Like you didn't close the deal on the first call. You closed them on the 7th follow-up or maybe even the 12th follow-up of them seeing your stuff, seeing your emails, seeing your stuff, finally wanting to reach out to you and get more information, okay? So 5 to 12 follow-ups is what it's going to take, guys. Now, here's the thing. How do you do this well and still be interesting? Because this is the hard part for a lot of people, right? And I don't know if you guys have experienced this, but you're like, man, I started doing this thing and now I'm calling people and now I'm following up with them on email and stuff. But it's like, you know, hey, John, this is Brad again. I was just following up to make sure you got my email. Hey, if someone follows up with me like that, I'm deleting the email and I'm probably blocking them, okay? because that's not valuable to me. And if I didn't follow up with you on the first time, like I didn't respond to you, it's probably for some reason, right? But that is a terrible way to follow up because it just shows me that you don't really care about what you're doing. It's not that important, right? Like, it's like, oh, I'm just following up, bro. Maybe, like, what do you want, unemployment? And you just have to follow up 10 times with 10 different companies so you can get your unemployment check. Cause like, not interested, right? And most people are going to think that way. So some interesting ways to follow up. I did this a lot. I showed Will this. This was like probably one of my favorite follow-ups. But the first thing you need to know is you need to call people. You need to get them on the phone. You need to call them. Now, if you can't get through to calls and you're like, oh man, they're just not picking up my call, or I've called them over and over again, always leave a voicemail, okay? Anytime you get someone on the phone, you need to be very clear about what you're calling about, okay? What's going on, John? This is Brandon. I am calling to let you know, blah, 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 right? And this is my intention with this phone call. I do not want to waste any of your time. It shows you're a professional. If you're beating around the bush, yeah, man, so how's everything going? I'm not talking about reaching out to your power base. I'm talking about making a sales call, guys. I want to know, hey, half or not, what's going on, man? This is Bradley. I'm calling to see if you're ready to move forward with the proposal and start getting these records done. I don't want to waste any of your time. Hit me back when you're ready. 206-819-7228. Bradley again. Let's get these records going right now. Okay? There's no tricks in this. This is not a trick. We're not tricking people. There's no psychoceutical, I'm going to talk to you in a different tone and you're going to want to buy it. This is not a trick, guys. This is valuable stuff. I want to work with people, provide them value. I want to close them because I know I can provide them value. Okay? So when you're calling someone, call them to tell them exactly what your intention is on the call. What's up? This is Brandon. Hey, so you filled out a form saying that you were interested in my beats, okay? You need beats. What's going on? Are you working on an EP? Are you working on a single? I want to know. I want to learn more about what you're doing. Oh, hey, Brandon, what's going on? So what was it? What was it that I did? Hey, so you filled out a sheet. I have like these lead sheets, running ads online. Be very direct with them. Be very honest with them. And you filled it out saying you need beats. Are you working on a project? Like, what's going on that you need beats for? Ah, bro, yeah, okay, gotcha. So I'm working on an EP. I got 7 songs. Go into the fact finding, right? Listen, I called you because I want to get started right away with you. So what do we have to do to get you started? Are you ready? Have you heard enough information to get started? Yeah, absolutely, man. So you've already told him the price. You told him everything, right? Hey, are you the decision maker? Do we need to get anyone else involved with making this decision? Your wife? Anybody else? You got a business partner? You got a manager? No, bro. It's all me, man. Dope. All right. So do you have $2,500 right now? I got to pull a couple things together, but can you get it right now? I'm going to send you an invoice so we can get going and I can lock your spot in. Okay. Yeah. Let me get it together. Okay, cool. Well, stay on the line. I'll just send you the invoice right now. Okay. That's how you close a deal, guys. You don't get scared. You don't feel like you're being pushy. You don't go like, oh, okay, well, hey, I'll hit you back later, bro. It's all good. It's all good. Keep pushing your dreams aside. No problem. Maybe next year you'll put a record out and you'll actually start doing what you said you would do to yourself. Or maybe not. So that's one way to follow up, and it's probably the preferred way is going to be probably in person, right? If you can go see them in person. Schedule a lunch, like come out to my event. That's a follow-up. Call them if you can't do that. Now, a lot of the times I like to call people because I got something else going on, and that's a good way to follow up, right? Like, listen, guys, I'm doing a Zoom call. Hey, John, I'm doing a Zoom call at 4 o'clock. I really want you on it. I want you to learn sales and marketing from a music professional standpoint, okay? I wanted to invite you to this thing. You already know you pitched him a proposal for $5,000 to mix and master his records, right? You know that. He knows that, right? But you're following up creatively and you're offering more value. You're not saying, hey, man, so did you get that $5,000, bro? Just doesn't work, guys. So when someone's on the fence, you want to figure out why they're on the fence. Why are they not paying that bill, right? But you don't want to be pushy. You don't want to be an asshole, right? You're like, so, hey, I want to invite you to this thing. Oh, and also, how is that money coming along? I would love to get started on that project. Oh, you know what, man? I was just going to call you, right? That's a great follow-up. Another follow-up that I showed Will, this was the one before I started just blabbering on this rant. But basically take your phone out, right? And you got your camera, right? And you just take your camera and you click it and you go, hey, what's going on, John? Bradley over at Radium. Hey, just following up with you, making sure that you're releasing that music and you got my proposal all right. Hit me back anytime. Super excited to chat about this. Just at the studio, right? Just on a Zoom call right now. So hit me up. I've been busy, but I'm excited to hear back from you. Peace, right? That's it. You can leave your number. You can say, call me back, 206-819. Now send that video over text. This is someone that may never have seen your face before. And now they get to see you in your studio. They see you in your room, Joshua, right? Like they're like, wow, this is cool, man. The guy's got like some tuning. He knows what he's doing. Hey, Josh seems like a nice guy, right? They get to know you a little bit, right? They get to see you on video. They're like, oh, this is a personalized message to me over video. Like, how many of you guys are ever sending any sort of video messages to even friends and family? Like, can I get a hand? Anybody? Okay, we got Johnny. Johnny sends video messages. I'm not talking FaceTime. I'm talking like shoot a video, where you're at, what you're doing, making sure they understand like you're excited, right? You got to be happy, excited, positive. You don't want to hit them up, man. I know the economy's bad right now, bro. And I just called to make you feel like shit. You want to be that guy, that person that like they're excited to hear from. They're like, wow, someone actually still believes in what they're doing and they're hyped about it. So that's a great way to follow up, guys. Okay, so third way, email, right? Email is, people are like, oh, nobody opens emails anymore. Bullshit. Like, I promise you people open emails. I sell tons of stuff over email every single day, guys. I have people buying products and services all day long over emails that I've sent out. Those are emails that I sit down every single day to write personally, right? And they're things on my mind, and they're things that I know I want people to get involved with. I want people on this Zoom call. I want to help them with their sales. I want them to make an extra $1,000 this month. Like, what could you guys do with an extra $1,000? You know what I mean? It's important. So I send the emails out. I'm constantly emailing people, and they'll get driven crazy by it. But the key here is always have some value in there, right? So you want to throw like a hook at it. You want to throw a story in there. You want to give an offer, right? But you always want to give them something like, yo, let me tell you like something that I learned. What's an experience you had? Like when you were setting up your first studio, what were things you had to overcome, right? Okay, another way, send an article, text something, right? That is going to be really helpful to what they're doing. You're trying to sell a rapper on Beats, right? And you go check out their stuff. You actually care about them. Yes, unbelievable, right? You go check out their other music and you figure out where are their streams at? Why are they have less than 1,000 streams on their Spotify, right? Why don't you text them and say, hey man, I saw that you have less than 1,000 streams on all your songs right now. I could help you break that barrier and get you on and like at least submit your music to some Spotify playlists if you're interested. You know how great that is to hear as a follow-up, like a text from someone that's trying to close you on a deal that's trying to help you. They're like, what? Dude, that's sick. That's what I need. I love that, right? Like, dude, just send me the links to Spotify. I'd be happy to just send it out to some people. No guarantees. And they might even ask for some money to put it on the Spotify list. But hey, man, I want to help you like get some more eyes and ears on your music. Right? What do you think they're going to do? You start showing them things, like show them a little more value every time, right? Hey, share a Radium podcast episode with them and send the video in the position, like where it's at like six minutes in and 45 seconds where you have like this thing that we're saying that's really important to whatever, right? Send that link and say, yo, dude, I saw this and I thought of you and I think it'll be helpful for you. I send random texts to people that I know need help and they have records that need to be mixed, mastered, produced. They want to get into this business a little bit more. I'll send random texts to them saying like, hey man, I was just thinking about you. How's everything going? That's it. How's everything going for you? How's the music? I was just thinking about you. Yo, dude, I was in the studio the other day and I thought about you. It's a nice text to get, right? It's like, oh, you actually give a shit. You're not going to hit me up and, hey man, hey, are you going to buy this? Right? So those are some ways to follow up, guys. So email, text messaging, phone calls, always leave a voicemail, get in person. If they're in your city, dude, meet for lunch, buy them lunch. You know how valuable that is? You got a client that's going to give you $2,500. You can't buy them lunch. You can't go meet with them in person and they live 3 miles from you. I mean, in LA, it's like, you better live like next door, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes the best way to do it is just say, hey, I'm in your neighborhood, dude. You down to grab some lunch? Right? You may not be in their neighborhood, but that's sometimes what you got to do. You got to do what you have to do to make the money and help people and bring the value. Because a lot of people, this is the thing with sales. People need help making decisions. Straight up. I don't know anybody in this call, including myself or Will, that doesn't need help making decisions. I'm constantly like, yo, what camera lens do I get? You know what I'm saying? What do? I go on YouTube. I ask friends. I ask people that know cameras, right? I'm like, yo, what do you think? Like, we're trying to do this thing. You know, we're going to be doing podcasts and stuff. What kind of lens? You know, like, what do you recommend? I need help making a decision. Then someone's going to sell me. My friend's going to sell me on a lens, but he won't sell me on his fucking music. He won't sell me on his product or service, but he'll sell me till he's blue in the face about how awesome this lens is and I got to get it and it's $1,200, but it's worth it, dude. And I'll tell you why it's worth it. He'll prove it to me, dude. But like, you guys won't even do that with your own shit, but you'll sell someone on the fucking pizza place down the street. It's unbelievable. And then you're like, I don't do sales. I'm not a salesperson, bro. I make beats. Dude, sales are whack, man. Dude, you gotta try this pizza place, bro. It's kind of expensive, but dude, it's worth it, bro. Like their cheese, it's like the cheese is just different. It's like real cheese. It's like Domino's and like amazing. Like someone made this cheese with their, you know what I'm saying? Like you guys go in depth selling your friends on some bullshit. And they go and spend $50 on a pizza. And you're like, yeah, man, so you could get a beat lease like for free. If you just tag me, bro. Dude, you just gotta tag me, bro. I'll give you 3 free beat leases, bro, if I could just get your email. Like straight up, guys, like you gotta really start thinking about what are you selling and do you believe in what you're selling? Do you really believe in what you're doing? Because if you don't, you need to go get sold on it. You're not going to sell anything if you're not sold on it. You'll get on the phone calls. You'll feel like you're bothering people, right? Oh, I don't want to ask them this stuff. You know, it's so rude. Sales are rude. It's like part of our upbringing is teaching us that like used car salesman and it's sleazy to sell stuff. Yet every single person, every single day is selling. You're selling your wife, your girlfriend, your boyfriend. You're selling these people on these new clothes that you should get, or the new upgrade you should get for your studio, or the new diet you're going to be on, or the new whatever you fucking need, the new screwdriver, wrench, you know, drill, the new shelves you want to put in, the thing you want to do to your car. You're selling them every day, but you don't sell for your actual dreams. And that shit is just, it's gut wrenching to me that people sit around and go like, I'll sell pizza for other people. I'll sell Apple iPhones for Steve Jobs and Mr. Tim Cook. I'll sell Amazon and Amazon Prime for a guy that makes billions and billions of dollars, and I'll feel good about it. I'm excited to sell it. And then you're like, yo, man, do you want to check out my beats, man? Like, why? It's easier when it's not something. See, like this is right here, dude. This is it right here. I think this is key. It's easier when it's not something personal like music or art. And that should turn around, Josh. It should be a lot easier because it's personal, because it's your art, because it means something to you. Yeah, Ryan, go ahead, unmute yourself.
Do you guys, I think most people, when you're trying to sell them on something, at least in my experience with video, they're always looking for the demo reel. Like they want to see, they want to know what you've done, who you've worked with. So the question is Instagram or Facebook the best place to collect that kind of stuff? Would a website be helpful? Where can I point people and land them to really help them understand?
That is a great point, right? So we're talking about going to the beginning of the sales cycle, right? Like I've basically been kind of focusing on the middle and end of the sales cycle. But if you go back to the beginning of the sales cycle, I think it was one of the first Zoom calls we did on sales and marketing. And I'm sorry if you missed that one, but it's getting attention, right? So it's marketing. And marketing's a deep topic, but you need to get attention. So the best thing I would recommend to you, Ryan, is making content around that thing. So constantly posting content. Post your work before, right? On Instagram, on Facebook, YouTube, right? We do the plugin of the week. I do the tip of the day. I do, I put up stuff that I'm working on. I promote the artists that I'm producing, I do all this stuff to put it out there. And I run budgets on it. I run ads on it, right? Because I want it in front of more people so they can see the proof in the pudding, right? Abstract the Art of Design was up for an Emmy, right? Last night before, something like that. So I'm like talking about that on Instagram. I'm talking about it on social media. Like, yo, I did the music for the show and it's up for an Emmy right now. This is insane. I'm excited about it. I don't go out there and try to sell it to people. I just say like, yo, I'm so hyped about this. Get on LinkedIn and talk about it. Loved making the music for this. Super awesome to see that a show that I worked on is up for an Emmy for their main title sequences. Let me tell you a story about the main title sequences. When we first got the reels from them, the main title sequences were absolutely the thing that made this show stand above the rest. It was so exciting to see the edits and how cool they put these things together, right? So you can tell that story. You can have, like Will and I, what we're working on right now. It's like, how do we get a content strategy together? What day? Okay, Monday through Friday, we're going to drop a tip of the day. What time are we going to drop that? Oh, 10:30 a.m. on that. Okay, we're going to drop at 10:30 a.m. every single day, tip of the day, right? We want to put 5 categories together for the Instagram timeline, right? So I'm not just posting all music. People come to my page and they're like, I'm not into music. F off, right? But I can bring in someone that's not into music and they have a friend that is, and they say, yo, you got to check this guy's page out, right? So we have 5 things. So we got audio engineering, music production and composing.
Music business and entrepreneurship.
Music business, entrepreneurship, right? So those are like our big 3. And then I got food, friends, and family, right? Because I'm a well-rounded person. I don't just sit at my desk making music all day. Like most of these beat maker kids, they're screwing themselves, right? Because they just, look at what I do. Wow, cool, man. And do anything else? Do you care about anything else? No, bro, VSTs, bro. Like I can't have a conversation with you, right? And most people that are going to hire those kids, they won't have a conversation with them. What they'll do is they'll lowball them, right? They'll say, hey, man, I'm an A&R over at blah, 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 and I love your beat. Give you $1,000 for it. And the kid's like, hell yeah. Yeah, Johnny, if you want to jump in and share your experience about finding me and Radium, I think that's a great example. Go ahead.
Yes.
God damn it. Sorry, I just muted you. Unmuted again.
Yeah, so like when I was searching like Instagram, because Bradley was pretty loud like in his presence, I want to say. He just knew what he was talking about, and like that's how I gravitated. Like I think it's like water seeks its own level, and I just kind of was like, he resonates with me and I want to know this guy. So I hit him up in the DM, and I think I actually posted his video without even like knowing who he was. I was just like searching music knowledge, and that's how I found Bradley. And then here I am, like a year later, like 10 grand in, trying to find investors to invest in Bradley because I believe in him. I believe in his model, so it's just, I'm super grateful because he's a genuine person, and I saw that just from making content. I think what inspired me to share that experience is like put out content. I think Ryan was saying it, like just put your content out there because you never know who's going to see it. Instagram connected me with Bradley without even, him having to hit me up.
1,000%. And like that is a great point. Like Johnny and I had no idea who each other were, right? But he probably came across my content through a hashtag, through a discover, through someone else he knew, etc. And he just resonated with what I was talking about or how I was talking about it. So like, Ryan, how do I know what you're about, regardless of your work, right? But how do I know that I would want to be in a room with you if I have all I see from you is like your logo on your Instagram and you're like playing some of your stuff, right? Like I edited this. Like you need to connect with people because your personal brand is so much more important than your business or your logo, right? And I think in that point, like that Johnny's making, it's like, just talk about what's important to you. Like I did this edit and it was so cool to see this, this, and this. I love nature. I love hikes. So I love to shoot this thing. I was really excited to do this because I hate this, right? It's good to talk about what you love and also what you hate, because you don't want to be, the worst thing a brand can be is lukewarm in the middle. We cater to everyone, right? You don't. And the problem is with that is that you're going to start playing like, oh, I'm doing something that's not really what I really think or believe. And then all of a sudden you're going to get a bunch of clients that are like that. And then you're going to hate your life. You're going to think, oh, I wanted to do music. I wanted to be a video editor. And now you're video editing like, big booty hose on some trap shit from some kid that's disrespectful to you. And he won't pay you in time. And he's been a total asshole to you, telling you all this stuff. And you're like, I didn't even want to be doing this. And now I'm stuck in this lane or whatever, right? So you definitely want to like play I hate country music, right? Like if you hate country music, just say it. Don't be like, I love all genres. And then someone comes through and they're like, can you edit my country song? And you're like, God damn it. You know what I'm saying? Like, just put yourself out there. That's nothing wrong with big booty hoes. Good point, Joshua. I'm all for big booty hoes. If anyone that's not for big booty hoes in this discussion can leave. What if that was like, see what I'm saying? Like, it's part of your brand. You guys know who I am and like how I talk and what I care about, right? Like, so when I'm in here saying the F word, you're like, yeah, Brad's fine. He cusses. I knew that. You didn't come into this thing thinking like, oh, Brad just never says a bad word. He's just always not cussing. And he just, he's always just speaking really softly, right? Like I'm myself. I think, Ryan, if you just go be yourself online, like as much as possible, and find, like, I think the hard part is like people hear that, like, go be yourself online. And they're like, grab their phone and just go make shitty content about them, like ranting or being themselves. Nobody cares about that, right? Because they don't know you. So like what you have to do is find things, dress it up a little bit, right? Like now we're doing like the tip of the day. I got Will like making titles and like, putting music to it and making it more interesting, and it's shot in front of the speakers, like we're in the studio. It's exciting. It draws like a little bit of a different crowd to it. And the same thing with the plugin of the week, right? Like we professionally shoot it and we edit the audio, and we make sure that I can be myself, but I'm also talking about stuff that I actually really know about, not stuff that I don't know about and I just read about. You know what I mean? Like, if you're going to do that kind of stuff where you're curating content, I think that's a really important part of, getting your voice out there. But just make sure you're like, yo, this isn't my content, but I wanted to talk about it. Like there's a big difference. A lot of people out there right now on Instagram and Facebook are failing because they're trying to go like read something and then like make a post like they came up with it or they've known this their whole life, right? I'm the expert on this because I just read a book about it, and they want to tell you all about it. And you're like, you're not doing that. Like, here's how you make money in music. Like, what if I was doing that with you guys? And I'm like, but I don't make any money in music. I just read this is what you're supposed to say and what you're supposed to do. It's just kind of ridiculous, right? So that's a big part, man. Like, I think making content has been the biggest game changer for Radium, my company, running ads, but like just finding a great voice to like put content out that matters, that's valuable, that people connect to, tell my story, personal story, and just see who it resonates with. And then I usually find that it's people that I would want to have a beer with, right? Like, I'm like, yo, all you guys in here, I would love to just like be at a bar somewhere having a drink, just chatting, you know what I mean? So I don't want to be in a group where I'm like, oh my gosh, what have I done? All these guys like, hey bro, how'd you get that sample? It's fat, sick, dude. Like, I don't want to have those conversations, right? And I'm glad there's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people in here, right? Because they're the right 6 people. I'd rather have the right 6 people in here telling another right 60 people than like, 600 people in here that they're just like, oh, I don't care about what this guy's saying. What a dickhead, Like, he doesn't know what he's talking about. I heard, this other rapper guy talk about this on Instagram. This guy's an idiot, right? So that's important. But I'll have a beer for you, Johnny. I'll have a non-alcoholic beer for you. But yeah, you guys have any other questions or anything about this stuff? I think the follow-up stuff is really important, but
Yeah, just tell them that I'm going to make the presentation available.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so we'll make that presentation all available for you guys. so you guys can download it and check it out and make sure you can go through it and everything, and get you the templates and stuff as well. But yeah, man, it's all about like the cycle, right? Like, so just to reiterate the cycle in 2 minutes, you really want to get attention. That's your marketing on the wheel, right? It's like the very first step. Get attention, get attention, get attention. Like, spend so much time getting attention. I mean, most businesses spend 60% of their actual revenue on advertising and getting attention. Content, advertising, if you bottled all that up, it may be more than 60%, especially if you're just starting out, right? And then that budget gets smaller as you get bigger, right? Amazon doesn't need to market as much anymore. Get it? So as you're a smaller business, you need to market and get more attention and put out more content. Like, you guys should be putting out 3 to 10 pieces of content every single day on all different platforms, right? So like maybe making 2 posts on Instagram that are really great, shooting like 6 stories on what you're doing. You're in the studio, you're cooking breakfast, whatever you're doing, people want to know about you, right? And then like on Facebook, you could go live and talk about your latest track that you cooked up or whatever, right? You could talk about guitar techniques. You need to just get ideas and get attention. That's number 1, right? Number 2 is once you have interest and attention, then you go through the sales cycle, which I've been kind of like going through in these last 3-4 calls, right? So that's really, really important. You get the attention, you get them into the sales cycle. They're going to be interested. They're going to hit you up. They're going to DM you, etc. But you got to remember, like what Will talked about today, prospecting is within this circle as well, right? So you're not getting attention. You need to prospect. You need to hit up people. Hey, I saw that you're a music supervisor on the show. I love this show. I love your music selection. I got a few things I'm just going to shoot your way. They're all available. I own them 100%. And if you like anything, let me know. And if you want to hear more of any style that's in here, let me know. I'd be happy to help. Right? That's prospecting, guys. So you want to connect with people. You want to go like their stories and tag them. And like Johnny did with me, like, so powerful, right? You find someone that's like under 10K as following, but they're like very influential and they know what they're doing. They have credits, etc. Go share their content, like repost it, tag them and stuff. You're adding so much value, right? And like leave something on it. Like, yo, this is an amazing piece of music by so-and-so. Like, you guys, everyone here should be taking a screenshot of this and posting it and tagging Will and me and Radium, because you have no idea what kind of, wait, but first let him flex. But you have no idea how important that part of it is. Like, why leave someone out? Why keep their credit out of it, right? When really, like, I know so many people and people that follow me and that I follow on Instagram, they're like, if they see my tag somewhere, they're gonna go check it out. And then they're like, oh, who's this guy, right? That's a really big, important part of networking. It's like, give people credit where due. Like, tag everyone. You know what I'm saying? So that's really important. Sharing content, repurposing content, tagging people. But it's like, dude, really get attention. That's the most important part. Be yourself. Put your content out there. Get into the sales cycle, right? Then you're going to start closing sales. What do you have to do? You have to do the goddamn work, which is like, a big part of it. Now I got to deliver on the work and everything, right? And then literally you're like delivering the work, and then it's a follow-up and ask for referrals and build more business and build a foundation of clients, right? That you keep servicing, you keep adding more value to, and you bring them up your value ladder, right? Like, they start out, they buy my Facebook ads course, or they buy, Logic Pro presets, or they get into the Beat Gang for $30 a month, right? And then they end up going, hey, will you mix and master my record? How much is that? Yeah. Oh, you know what? What if you did some custom production and exec my next project? See what I'm saying? Now, can we get some sync deals? Can we get some real business going, right? So you just kind of bring them up the value ladder. You don't go to a girl at the bar and be like, yo, you want to have sex and get married? Right? I mean, you could, but chances of that working is going to be really slim, right? So the first thing you do is you're like, hey, what's going on? I love that shirt. Can I buy you a drink? Yeah, that seems like a pretty good deal. You can definitely buy me a drink. Great. Now I can have a conversation with her. Why? Because I'm selling her. You guys are selling that person. You sold your wife, a girlfriend. You sold people on that, right? You're like taking care of yourself, brushing your teeth all the time and shit. Now look at you. But I'm just saying, like, it's a really big, important part of that, right? So you go through this wheel, and then you get those referrals. You get those clients that are like excited to talk about you, right? And then what happens? You just repeat the process. You start going and getting attention again. You take those referrals, you take those video testimonials. I got one with Johnny that I'm running ads on, right? Like, straight up, like, it's running ads, it's getting attention, right? And then I go through the cycle again. And then you just get more and more people going in that. And then all of a sudden that turns into a cranking wheel and you're in a Ferrari with, going, 250 on the highway. Like that's how businesses work. So if you're going to stop at one part of this cycle and you're just going to decide that you're just not good at it and you're not going to do it, you're not going to have a business ever. I guarantee you 1000%. I'll guarantee you, I'll give you all your money back if that works out for you, right? If you just decide I'm not going to do sales, but I'm just going to make beats. I'm going to make music. So make sure you guys go through this whole process. And if you guys ever have any questions, you know where to find us. Will's going to have all this stuff